This video was inspired by Ava's reviews, for better or worse, definitely worse. So here in the free country of Portugal, at least in the city of Lisbon, there are three main supermarkets, namely Continente, Pingo Doce, and Mini Preço. There are obviously more, but these are the ones you'll get the most exposed to. They're pretty much the big three of supermarkets here, and chances are there's probably at least one of their stores close by where you live. Now, I personally go to Pingo Doce and Mini Preço. Rarely will you see me buying groceries at Continente for two reasons actually. For one, their discount cards are confusing and backwards ass, and secondly, it's the most distant from where I live. Without giving too many details about where I live, it's not that far away. I can easily walk there, but it would take me over 15 minutes to do that. Meanwhile, Pingo Doce and Mini Preço only takes like 2 to 5 minutes, so they're much closer by. Not to mention, in terms of exclusive goods, the only ones I can think of are these gumball themed gummy candies I used to buy, and I can't really find them in other stores, but I don't really eat them anymore, so it doesn't matter. However, recently, while I was heading home, I ended up passing by Continente, and I found some interesting supplies of drinks. They sell brand exclusive iced teas, one of them being lemon flavored. Haven't seen that one in other stores, might want to try it out one of these days. But the most interesting discovery I made this week was the lasagna lineup. Now, I'm a pretty big fan of lasagna, and since I don't cook, I sometimes buy frozen meals, one of them being lasagnas. When it came to that, I always prefer buying it on Pingo Doce, and this is due to the fact that the one sold in Mini Preço is not the one I'm looking for. For starters, they have the most expensive lineup, usually surpassing €2, while in Pingo Doce, prices range from 160 to 180 depending on the one you buy. And even ignoring that, they also have the problem of not being optimized for microwaves. I primarily use a microwave to heat up my food, but the lasagnas sold in Mini Preço absolutely require me to use the oven, which is an inconvenience already. And it's not like I can even say that the flavor makes up for those drawbacks, because in my experience, they have not. The lasagna I tend to buy in Pingo Doce is the one priced $179 because not only is it tastier, but it's also 100% optimized for microwave usage. It's a small package, so it's easy to fit and not have corners that are still frozen, which is really annoying. The material of the base lends itself room for getting properly heated up, and I can even eat the lasagna from the package itself, therefore saving me from washing additional dishes. It's a good deal, I would say, but when I went to Continente, I found out that they sold identical packs of exclusive frozen lasagnas, like the exact same packaging form with the exact same price. The only difference is that they have a variety of flavors. I'm sure there are more available, but the store I went to had bolognese, spinach, and tuna fish flavors. Meanwhile, in other stores, I could only find bolognese. To say that this piqued my curiosity would be an understatement. I wonder if this would be the thing that would inspire me to go to Continente more. I ended up buying the spinach and bolognese ones for the Saturday, one for lunch and the other one for dinner. I was expecting to have my taste buds rock that day and was interested in seeing how I would react to a vegetarian themed lasagna. You see, I came from a country that has its fair share of traditional green food, and there are some of them that I quite like, so it's not like veggies would be a problem for me. Unfortunately though, when I ate the spinach flavored lasagna, I was not very satisfied. Nothing nostalgic, nothing gratuitously triggering, not even an ounce of sour taste. It was just fucking bland as hell. Now, I ended up observing the packages and I realized that the spinach lasagnas have less proteins and salt than the other variants, which was definitely something I had observed in a negative way. I guess for me, what made me feel underwhelmed was just how after bypassing the white sauce and the mental cheese, the actual flavor of the spinach layer is just a lot of nothing. It doesn't help that there didn't seem to be any tomato sauce in it, which ended up doing more damage than I thought it would. In the end, I concluded that I would never buy this flavor ever again, and I was left with the bolognese pack for dinner. It tasted about as well as the one from Pingo Doce, arguably worse because I felt like the taste had evaporated a little bit more than it usually would. I had a similar observation when I ate the spinach one, but this is something that might be changed by altering the timer and heat levels of the microwave. There was one other entry that I had left to try, and I had to wait until the next day to do so. And so I did. By the way, is anyone excited for Yakuza 7? I'm really excited for Yakuza 7. Anyhow, this one was fine. It felt a little chewier, which I guess wasn't too surprising. In the end, I didn't really regret it, although I would be lying if I said the travel was worthwhile. Something that especially made it even harder to convince myself to go to Continente was the fact that even if I'm missing out on 2 different variants of lasagna, which aren't even that great anyway, it's not like there aren't other options. I mean, I could just buy a tuna fish themed pizza at Mini Preço, I could buy different types of frozen spaghetti at Pingo Doce, bacalhau, which, by the way, might be the topic of the next food review. Sure, some of these are more expensive than the $179 price tag, but the difference is so marginal, like we're only talking about a couple of cents. So by the end of this pointless journey, Continente remained unwanted. Maybe I'll buy their iced tea, but that's about it. Anyway, next time I promise I'll talk about a cartoon. Please don't unsubscribe.